There's only a 5-seat majority for the Democrats, the lowest it's been in 100 years. That number 25 is a very big number for Democrat retirements. In 2010, when we won the majority, 17 Democrats retired, already 25. I expect that number to be up to over 30 Democrat retirements because they see what the future holds and they see what the numbers. We need people to join with us to be able to fire Nancy Pelosi.
Well, as you heard right there, more than 24 House Democrats, pictured right there, will not seek re-election this calendar year, rocking that party's hopes of maintaining control of the House next year.
Here to react, Fox News contributor and former House Speaker Newt Gingrich. He's the author of the new book. You see it right there, Beyond Biden. Good morning to you, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning. It's
good morning. That seems like a lot.
I think you just,
when you look at the... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think you just heard from the next Speaker of the House, and that's what that retirement number tells you. First of all, the House under Nancy Pelosi's not a very happy place. With all the COVID restrictions, all the voting by absentee, all the different things they're doing, the masking, the police requirements. Members actually get checked walking on the floor. I walked on the floor recently. I was astonished that to get on the floor of the House, you go through sort of a TSA system with a policeman watching you as though you're some subservient person who's a danger to your colleagues. And I think these Democrats are looking forward thinking, what is this going to be like if I'm in the minority? And it's just not any fun. And so I think Kevin's almost certainly right. You could easily be above 30 retirements before this is over.
Yeah, I remember Paul Ryan when he resigned and said, I'll play out the string. That the message was the Republicans were going to lose, which was a bad message, and he probably made a bad decision for his party. But here's Kevin McCarthy, a man you think will be Speaker next, talking about his agenda. Listen.
So are you planning to have new investigations, new probes into some of this wrongdoing, some of the corruption that is on full display?
We are already looking into the investigation. We have done this when it comes to the decision in Afghanistan, along the border. If we are fortunate to be able to earn the trust of the American people and earn the majority, we will secure this border to stop the human trafficking and the drugs flowing across.
Investigation the right way to go? Should that be your message?
Well, I think I'm glad that he transferred immediately to real issues, to real substance. Controlling the border is a big, big deal. We don't know where the 1,500,000 illegal immigrants from last year, we don't know where the Biden administration has sent them. We know they weren't checked for COVID. They weren't checked for criminal records. They could be in your neighborhood, and you'd have no idea that the Biden administration is shipping people around the country. But it's deeper than that. We had 100,000 people die last year from drug overdoses. We have an amazing number, tragic number of suicides. We have a mental health problem which exhibits itself in these homeless towns the size of the one in Los Angeles. So I hope and I believe with Kevin's leadership, the Republicans are going to have serious hearings looking at the big issues that affect our lives, as well as going through the stuff you have to do just to uncover all the bad stuff the Democrats did. But I think you've got to have both things, not one or the other.
Buckle up. It's going to be a crazy year. Newt, in the meantime, if folks go to foxnews.com, you have written essentially a look back at 2021 and a look ahead. And it's entitled, This Year in America, Let's Listen, Learn, Help, and Lead. It's a fascinating read. I love the part where you talk about help, because all across America, what we learned in 2021 is our communities need help. And we're the ones to do it.
Look, I think we have to face a reality here. This isn't 2016. This isn't a country which is basically comfortable but angry. This is a country which is battered, frightened. For the first time, Americans have a really deep sense that our best days are behind us. Well, we're very intimidated by the scale of the Chinese challenge. And as I said, we have mental health problems on a scale we have never seen, largely compounded by the worst public health decisions, I think, in modern history, all of which deserves to be explored. But people want political leadership which is going to be serious, have an honest conversation, and find a way to bring us together to actually fix these things, not just have more of this totally partisan bickering. And I think Kevin McCarthy, with his whole notion of a commitment to America and the kind of people he's been recruiting, I think he understands this is a time for taking very seriously the challenges that the United States faces and that we face as individuals.
Mr. Gingrich, thank you so much for coming on with us.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.